what exactly is the holiday of Purim? So, it sort of starts with the story of the Exodus. The Jewish people just left Egypt after the 10 plagues, and they get to the Yam Suf, the Red Sea. And God performs that miracle where he splits the Red Sea and we walk across. Soon after we're across the Red Sea, the Jewish people are attacked by a nation called Amalek. They're the first nation to attack the Jewish people, and it happens basically immediately after the splitting of the Red Sea. At which point God commands us to attack Amalek. Joshua leads the Jewish people, and while Moshe's hands are up, the Jewish people glance at Moshe's hands being raised, and they look to the sky, and they contemplate Hashem, God, and while they have faith in God, they're being victorious, and any point that Moshe starts to lower his hands, the faith starts wavering. So Aaron and Hur go on the sides of Moshe, help him keep his hands up the entire time, and Yeshua leads the Jewish people to victory. So now the Jewish people wander around the desert for 40 years. History happens. Joshua takes them into Israel. There's a period called the Novim, the prophets, and eventually we get to the point where the last prophet of the prophet period, Shmuel, Samuel, he anoints King Saul. Now Hashem tells Saul, King Saul, go, wipe out Amalek, destroy them, and leave nothing behind. Destroy all the spoils. Take nothing. So King Saul goes, and he kills most of Amalek. He sort of has mercy on the king of Amalek, Agag, and he takes him as a capture. And the best of the livestock they decide to take, and they're like, hey, this is some good sheep and cow here, let's bring it back with us, and we'll slaughter it to God, we'll bring it as a sacrifice. Meanwhile, Hashem, God, comes to Shmuel, Hanavi, Samuel the prophet, and says, you know, that Saul, he done goofed, he done messed up, he didn't do what I told him to do. I told him to wipe out Amalek and destroy everything, and he didn't do that. Okay, so Shmuel goes and he goes up to Shaul and he says, why didn't you do what God said? And Shaul's like, well, I did. I killed out Amalek, I destroyed his stuff. And Shmuel's like, what's this sound of sheep I'm hearing? And what is this sound of cattle? And Shaul's like, there's nothing. We took the best of the cattle and sheep from Amalek, and we're going to bring it as a sacrifice to God. And Shmuel Navi's like, God does not need your sacrifices. He needs you to do what you're told. And since you done goofed and you messed up, guess what? You're going to lose the kingship. It's going to go to someone else. And after that, Shmuel takes his sword, he goes up to King Agag and kills him. Somehow, in between the time of his capture and the death by Shmuel, Agag manages to produce offspring, and descendant from that offspring is Haman, the guy that becomes the number 2 to Achashverosh and decides he wants to wipe out all the Jewish people in one day. Little does he know that Shaul's descendant, Esther, and Mordecai are in with the king, and Esther is Achashverosh's wife, and at the last moment, when Haman thinks he's going to be able to destroy all the Jewish people, Esther reveals herself as a Jewish, and Achashverosh is like, kill Haman on the tree he wanted to kill Mordecai from. Now, obviously, this is a gross simplification of the entire story, but that'll do for now. Frecha Purim.